So today, Madras High Court sentenced Savukku Shankar, one of the affable YouTuber, to 6 months imprisonment in the contempt petition against him.
When meeting him in an interview in a television channel, I was advising him, and please go go very slowly. You are going very fast. You will be entangled in trouble, and already you have suffered a lot in the police department. If you want to put any allegation against such a powerful person, you must have solid evidence. And okay, even if you have solid evidence, you should go and make a complaint to the Chief Justice of Madras High Court. There are some good judges. I want to tell some incidences. And there is one judge, even now he is working as a judge in Madras High Court. The judge name is Prakash. Justice Prakash was conducting the case. And after seeing the advocate Vijayan, he had stopped and he was asking Vijayan, the senior advocate, Vijayan, how are you? How things are going on? What is your item number? He said 37. He said, I am taking only 10. Then you have to wait at least for 1 hour. Please wait. Just by asking some formality, and he started proceeding with the case. And after 1 hour the case had come, the senior counsel Vijayan stood up and he was arguing the case. Prakash asked, what is the case? He was telling something. And the government PP is there. And judges asked, what is the case PP? Public prosecutor. And he said, sir, a person was arrested. He is 25 years old, a youngster. So what he did is, in the same street, a young girl was studying 10th standard. She used to go by walk through that street to the bus stand. She used to go by walk through the street. And this youngster, he was just making comments. He was teasing her, and he was following her. So this had happened a couple of days. After that, the girl had reported to the parents, stating that somebody is following me, somebody is making nasty remarks against me. So it is a middle class family. They said to you, just tolerate it. After this, the same thing was happening. So the girl had got vexed, and she was telling the parents, no, I could not, you please take some steps, I could not go to school. Then those parents, her parents told, no, he belonged to a rowdy family and we cannot do anything. So you stop going to school. So after parents told like this, she had hanged herself and she had died. So the FIR was registered against this person for abetting the suicide. So for him, he was in jail for 30 days. For him, the senior counsel was appearing. What had happened after hearing all these things? Justice Prakash, who was very close to that senior counsel, advocate, senior counsel, Vijayan, and who was asking, when he had entered into the courtroom, he had stopped the proceedings and he was just asking some questions, inquiring about his welfare and everything. He was such a close friend to him. After hearing the genuinity of the case, Justice Prakash, just after seeing the senior counsel, he said, sorry, Mr. Vijayan, I had enquired the entire case. So I am very sorry that you had appeared for such a case. I am dismissing the bail petition. Very sorry. This is what this had happened. I am one of the eyewitnesses. Mostly some 100 advocates were present. This is what. So there are such judges who are very sincere. Like that, there was one judge called Devadas, and mostly for important cases, advocates with political background, very senior most advocates, and advocates who are affiliated with the association activities, bar council activities, they used to appear. At that point of time, most of the judges will be thinking that he is an influenced person, he is from the bar, he has got, he is one of the office bearer in the bar, He is office bearer in the association, and he is a very senior most person. Just like that, some of the judges at that point of time may think. But in order to avoid that, what Justice Devadas will do is, and he will not look at the advocate. He will just put the head like this, and whenever they argue, they will hear only the particular person argument. He will not see the face at all, because he was thinking, he used to think that. But if we see the face, and he may be a well-known person to us, or otherwise he may be an influenced person, I should not be influenced by such considerations. That is why, without seeing the face of the advocate, he will just hear it and he will pass judgment. This is how most of the judges are there. Of course, there are some corrupt judges in the High Court, and if complaints were given against those judges, and they were transferred to other states. So this is how action has been taken by the Madras High Court. So if Shankar has got such a grievance, the best thing is that he could have given a complaint against all of them. But instead of that, how can he make filthy remarks against them without any solid evidence? He was talking about the judge called Swaminathan. He was saying something, he was telling some complaints, but there is not at all any concrete evidence for such complaint. So then the court will not entertain this. And you might have known about one Mr. Karnan, who was the judge of the High Court. Even the judge of the High Court, Mr. Karnan, while he was in service, he was charged with the contempt of court, and he was sent to jail for 6 months. And he could not do anything. For the entire 6 months he was inside the jail. What Karnan did, he was also passing such remarks against the judges. And he had sentenced to imprisonment some 4 to 5 Supreme Court judges. He had sentenced to imprisonment. He was the High Court judge in Calcutta, and he had given judgment that 5 judges from the Supreme Court should be sent to the jail. So after that, contempt petition was brought, and he was sent to jail, and he was inside the jail. He was the High Court judge. This is how judiciary has been functioned. They have called Shankar. Then they have asked, what is your grievance, what is your complaint? He could have said that, yes, there is such and such concrete evidence against Judge Swaminathan. That is why I raised some allegations against him. And if he had given such evidences, they could not have proceeded. But instead of that, just hearsay, he has got some news, and he had put everything against the judge. That is why he had been caught in a very serious trouble. And some may be asking, is the court giving such contempt action, taking such contempt action against all those who had talked against the judiciary? Yes, it was true that in Supreme Court, but there was one judge named Bhushan. He was talking some bad about the judges, and he had given some general reference. He had not pointed out any particular judge. For that, contempt proceedings were taken, and court had imposed some fine. He said, I will not pay. Then they said, you just pay 1 rupee. He said, I will not pay. Then they have not sent him to jail. The reason was that he was involved in social welfare activities. He used to file public interest litigation, so many public interest litigation petitions in the interest of the public. That is why court has taken very lenient view. So such a lenient view cannot be taken against a Savukku Sangha. So what I feel is legally, what the High Court, that action taken by the High Court is entirely correct legally. And if at all he has got any evidence, he has got any grievances, he could have talked it by getting some evidences, and that too he should not talk in the media. Rather, he could have gone to the concerned forum to give a complaint against those judges.
So relating to this issue, Mr. Shankar in the court made some valid argument stating that as per Article 19, freedom of speech, so there is a discretion for each and every individual to express their thoughts. But even Supreme Court cannot stifle the voice, he said, but still, either though his petition was suspended.
Yes, what Article 19 says, freedom of speech to the individual. And the same legislative bodies have given a control to Article 19 of the Constitution in the form of Section 499 500 IPC. What is 499 500 IPC says? It is a defamation provision. If, of course, you have got the freedom of speech in Article 19 of the Constitution, but at the same time, if you talk ill about me, I have the power to proceed against you 499 500 IPC. That is defamation. You have to go jail. You have to go to jail for 2 years. That is what the law says. Law has not given full freedom to the freedom of expression. Of course, there are some control. There are some restrictions. If you by using your freedoms of speech, if you talk ill about others, that person's reputation will be spoiled. In that case, he has got the power to sue against you, to give a criminal complaint against you, again, under the provision of 499 500 IPC. So this is how you cannot say that Article 19 of the freedom of speech is not a complete freedom. It has got some restrictions. That is why there is a difference between liberty and freedom. What liberty? Animals have got liberty because they don't have any restrictions. But we human beings, we don't have any liberty. We have got only freedom. Freedom means you will have some restrictions. Your freedom will have some restrictions. And if you talk ill about others, the judicial, the legislative had created a separate section punishing you under Section 499 500 IPC. That is why the Article 19 you cannot quote. You should see Section 499 500 of Indian Penal Code.
Thank you, sir.